Army recruiters have zero business being in schools. In my high school, all 4 years almost every week, there was an Army recruiter in my school's lobby. Not only that, but we were forced to take a state test which would measure how good of a fit we were for the Army. And an economics class was replaced by an Army recruiter. We had listened for over an hour about how great and wonderful the military was. We also had to fill out forms, with our personal information, so that the recruiter could read it and call us to try to convince us to join the Army. This is disgusting. Trying to pressure kids into joining by offering all these opportunities without mentioning all the negative effects. Oh, you'll get to travel the world. I mean, we might throw you into an active war zone at 21 where you'll be lucky to be alive, but hey, it's the world. Oh, we'll pay for college. After you serve years and years. Also, don't turn up gay or we'll force you to pay it back. Our pay is terrible, and if you get PTSD, screw off. We won't help you. Watch your friends die too. Be separated from your family for huge lengths of time. Be humiliated. And if you are a woman, be prepared to be raped and sexually assaulted. You can report it, but we'll say it's fake, or what can you expect in a boys' club? But they don't tell you any of that. They just prey on kids at a high school. No different than MLM, which are illegal. If they want recruits so badly, they should probably make enlisting better sounding. They have zero business being a school. A school is a place of learning, not a place for you to shill out trying to get vulnerable kids. I've been going to high school for 3 years and never had an Army recruiter there, from America BTW. Would you consider yourself to be part of a higher or lower pay area? I grew up in foster care predominantly and was shifted around quite frequently. Whenever I was in an obviously poorer school, the recruiters were much more visible and active, which sounds like your experience. Whenever I was placed in a middle class or better school, you would barely see them. That always left a bad taste in my mouth. I know it's smarter for them to do it that way. Underprivileged kids are going to want/need to join the services. But it's the manipulation aspect of it. Kids who have nothing are so much more desperate to get out of their situations and jump at any opportunity to save themselves without thinking too deeply about the risks. I'm going to say this unpopular because most Americans know that we need servicemen and women but are unwilling to acknowledge the manipulative aspect since it's for the greater good. I don't really understand the gay part in your opinion. You can be openly gay in the military. Not saying that the Army is this amazing great place, but my own personal experience is that it isn't that bad. My state gives 100% tuition for Guard. Guard can also provide a lot of fulfilling humanitarian missions. If you go in with the mindset that hey, I'm not going to always be comfortable and expect the worst, then you end up better off. Just don't expect to always know what's going on and don't stress yourself out. Army can have its perks if you know how to work the system. Lord knows it tries to work you. The Army being in my husband's high school saved his life and ultimately brought us together. Take things with a grain of salt. Your opinion isn't so much unpopular as it is misinformed. While it isn't for everyone, the military provides many benefits to enlistees, the overwhelming majority of whom never see combat and, even of those who do, come home in one piece. You also seem to resent the fact that you have to earn the college tuition money by serving. Is there something wrong with that? Gay. There's no longer any prohibition on sexual orientation. So, no, you won't have to pay it back. I could go on, but it sounds like you just hate the military, hate the idea of service. So don't serve. Fair enough, don't like it, don't join. That said, we have a voluntary military force. Advertising to youth to build numbers is the trade-off. The alternative is a draft. I was in the Army for 3 years. It was mostly a fun time. The GI Bill put me through college. No U.S. school that I know of forces you to take an Army aptitude test, nor do they require students to take a class from an Army instructor. The Army used to discharge gay soldiers but have not done so for years, and even in the bad old days when they did, there were plenty of gays in the military. The pay and benefits won't make you rich, but they are decent. Military service is not a bad option for a poor kid. Your post is mostly rubbish. This post is absolutely false. The military is certainly not perfect, nor for everyone. But your breathless whiny lies are over the top. I went to a public Ivy and got a pretty good job after school. Pretty good grad school too. My buddy from high school enlisted at 18. He's retiring with like 70% pay and full benefits. Can work another job if he wants, still draw funds. I probably have more liquid assets than he does, but he's in a better place overall. I'm nowhere close to retiring, much less with full benefits. It's true he risked his life in Afghanistan, but causality ratios are like 1% at this point. Would have really preferred to have spent my 20s and early 30s serving my country and setting myself up for retirement at 38, rather than learning critical race theory, socioeconomic inequality, gender issues, trans rights, etc. You were forced to take a state test? What test is it? The SFOB? I've never heard of recruiters going to classes or making you fill out paperwork. Most of the places I've been to, the recruiter just sits in the cafeteria or the lobby. Most MOS aren't combat related. Most people don't see combat, especially in 2020. And yes, you do travel. I have friends all over the country and the world. You only have to serve 4 years, or you could join the Reserve/National Guard, where you show up one weekend a month. Being gay doesn't get you kicked out, so I don't know what you're talking about. Pay isn't terrible and the benefits are great. Cost of living is super cheap too. Again, most people don't see combat. Be separated from family. You mean you live alone? Sexual assault is a problem, but there are countless programs, classes, and people to reach out to, and as a trend it's going down. In my experience, most people don't care about recruiters being there, and those who do care are the ones who want to enlist. GI Bill benefits are in no way tied to your sexual orientation. The amount of ignorance in this post is astonishing. I serve with gay people. Your odds of being killed/even deployed in a war zone are slim. Most people are in support roles far off the front lines. The amount of benefits you can get out of the military, unfortunately, far surpass many options these kids will actually get in life. We get almost a daily sharp, sexual harassment and rape prevention briefing. The military is incredibly strict about inappropriate contact with opposite sexes now. Unfortunately, it's not perfect, but if you're a woman, be prepared to be raped is incredibly fucking insulting to those of us in the military. Just because you hate the military doesn't mean they shouldn't be at schools trying to give kids options for a better life, particularly poor neighborhood kids. No recruiter is forcing anyone to sign on the dotted line, and even if they were, there still are standards that a lot of today's youth are struggling to even meet: weight, physical fitness, basic intelligence, criminal activity. You just have a personal bias, which is fine. You don't have to support the military, but don't hate on recruiters trying to give kids options. Rant over.